Hello, Feely humans, and happy holidays, and Merry Christmas, and Happy Hanukkah, Happy Winter Solstice, Happy New Year. So happy to have you here at the end of 2022. This is the last episode of the year, and it's an amazing one. My name is Noan Wells. I'm the creator of this podcast. I'm also the founder of the Feely Human Collective, where we collectively grow our capacity for empathy, vulnerability, and emotional curiosity. As I mentioned, this is an amazing episode 242, on using our imagination to grow our empathy with comedian, artist, actor, Rory Scovel. What can I say about Rory? He's a delight. My favorite comedian. He's the co-host of Pen Pals with Daniel Van Kirk. It's my favorite podcast. He is starring in the movie Babylon right now, which is in theaters right now. It's a Damien Chazelle movie. I haven't seen it yet, but I'm very excited to see it. I'm a big Damien Chazelle fan. Damien Chazelle of course, Babylon, but also La La Land, Whiplash, and First Man, all pretty great movies. Rory is also starring in Physical, which is right now on Apple TV Plus. I think they're filming season 3 right now, so there's 2 seasons. That's a tough show to watch, but like so well acted. Rory's amazing in it. Any hoozles. Rory and I in this episode talk about how taking care of ourselves helps us better take care of others, confronting the fear of not making the right choices, psilocybin as an experience of profound empathy, and as I mentioned at the top, using our imaginations to break humans free of the boxes we want to put them in, aka helps us with our empathy. I love this conversation so much. I hope you do too. Rory is just a delight, a wonder, and a beautiful human. And one thing I'd like to mention before we get to the episode is that the Feely Human Collective membership community is launching on January 11th. January 11th, people. I'm so excited. It's been a long time coming. I've been telling you about it for the past few months. I've been hard at work building it, and the membership community is going to be here January 11th, and you can today sign up for the waitlist. Go to feelyhuman.co/soon. That's feelyhuman.co/soon. What can I say? The membership community is going to be great. It's a place for us to really grapple and grow with empathy, vulnerability, and emotional curiosity in a space that's unlike social media, in a space that's truly us being witness to the whole of each other without robots obfuscating our humanity. Very excited about it. There'll be monthly events, a movie club, one-on-one matching. What else? Space to talk about mental health and grief, and weekly heart-to-hearts with me on deep dive topics, and all sorts of other things. I'm really excited about it. I hope you can join. Again, go to feelyhuman.co/soon to join the waitlist. That's feelyhuman.co/soon. And I guess that's about it. Please give Rory's podcast a follow, Pen Pals Podcast. Watch Physical on Apple TV Plus. And go see Babylon in the movie theaters. It looks like quite the spectacle and something you should see on the big screen. It's playing in theaters right now. Support Rory. Support bonkers filmmaking. I've heard this film's bonkers, and I'm very excited about it. So Babylon in theaters now. Physical on Apple TV Plus. Pen Pals, wherever you get your podcasts. Okay, this is episode 242 on using our imagination to grow our empathy with Rory Scovel.
You and me. Empathy. La 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 la. You.
Welcome to You, Me, Empathy, the official podcast of the Feely Human Collective. On this show, we explore the struggles, the triumphs, the brights and the darks we face as humans trying to be human on this wondrous and overwhelming pale blue dot. You, Me, Empathy was created so that we can be witness to our collective humanity through the lens of empathy, vulnerability, and emotional curiosity. We aim to destigmatize mental health, lead fiercely with our hearts, feel our feelings without shame and judgment, and share our courageous stories so that others may feel less alone and more connected as Feely humans. Yumi Empathy is a brave place designed to inspire the beauty in each of us, because each of us, in all of our kaleidoscopic parts, makes up a magical whole that deserves to be seen. Today, I'm a paler with a heart full of joy to be here with comedian, actor, painter, and my favorite pen pal. Sorry, Daniel. It's Rory Scovel. Hello, Rory.
Yes, hello. You're right to say that. What have you said in my second favorite pen pal?
That would have been a better joke, but it's not true. It wouldn't have been honest. It would have been true to my heart.
Big Daniel fan. Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
Oh my gosh, so happy to have you on. I've had your wife on, Jordan. Yep. I've had Sarah Schaefer on.
Yep.
Gotta get, I guess, Scott on now.
Scott's next.
Then
you've covered this property. Yep.
Oh, Charlie, of course. We gotta get Charlie.
Yep.
So, Rory, Bori, we always kick off the show with an emotional check-in. How are you feeling?
I feel pretty good. I feel like I live in a sort of constant state of existential dread, as most of us do. I would imagine a lot of us do. Specifically based on climate and climate change and trying to foresee what, not just what you can do on an individual basis, because I think we all do a lot to try to help and make a difference, but I think there's this existential weight and depression because it all starts to feel like it actually isn't going to reverse the course of, because there's just not enough people participating in it. There's just not enough around the culture of green culture of thinking these things are important. And you just, I don't know. That's where I'm just constantly at on a day. That's sort of my baseline is, doing anything, then going, well, I guess we'll all be on fire soon. So
that's a lot to hold, and I am with you there in the fire. I feel that weight, and I we both live in Southern California. You see big green grasses. You hold the truth of, like, you're a golfer and the water consumption of golf courses, right? And the climate,
100%.
right? It's like, how do we hold those things? How do we do our part? Like, I always, because I get overwhelmed often about this stuff, climate stuff, just the world. And I have to remind myself to take a step back, and it's like one moment at a time, one heart at a time. Like, otherwise we're just going to be useless, right?
Right. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. And it's just sort of this constant weight. And then you go from, when I feel like when you have something that big, it sort of puts everything else into this perspective of, well, all right. Okay. You know what I mean? Any feeling you're going to have about anything, you're like, well, we've got 10 years to go. So,
do you get pretty, like, I don't know, like, what's the word? Apocalyptic with it in your feelings?
I think I do. And I also recognize that I oftentimes overdo it in my outlook of what things are. I'm a very, like, it's interesting because I don't think I am a negative person, but when it comes to big things, it does cause me to be pretty negative in the assumption of how things are going to go, like in terms of elections, our government, what's going on. And, for example, reading any of this stuff about Trump and Mar-a-Lago and the January 6th commission.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, he's in real trouble. And you read that article where they go, here's why he's worried. And I go, he's not worried. Why do you say He's not worried because nothing's going to happen, and this is what's going to happen in 2024, and it's going to be worse than 2016 and those 4 years. And so that is like and then after that I go, but we do only have 10 years left. So,
well, you joke, and I'd imagine there's some truth in there. Like, I wonder.
oh, there's a lot of truth.
Do you feel like that sort of exacerbated anxiety has gotten worse or better? Maybe worse since you've had kids?
I think worse. I think much worse. I think you feel like a certain sense of guilt. I think you always want to be able to hand your kid perfection, a perfect life, a perfect world. Even as someone who knows those aren't realistic things, you still strive to give your kid joy and happiness, or provide them the opportunity to discover joy and happiness. And you don't really want to give your kid sadly, what in many cases is the truth. And your heart, there's such an irony to honesty and the truth of humanity and our existence and this swirling chaos that we really do live in, because my heart breaks for so many children who at a young age have to learn the truth and learn that the world is darker than they think. And they have to learn that it is more predator and prey than they think, just because we as humans are come to this civilized sort of social whatever we want to call it. There is a sense of us
we've
just
progressed.
We've progressed, and there's sort of a sense of us just really hiding our animalistic, what our lives really are and what being on this planet really means. We're like, oh, we built these cities and we've done these things, and you go, yes, but was that to the benefit of nature? Was it to the benefit of people? Was it to the benefit of anything other than, well, it made money? And you go, but that's not a real resource of the planet. So we went in this wrong direction. My point of all that being, a child that has to grow up in severe poverty has to really learn, oh, this is how the world works, before the child who is able to have groceries and have clothes and have a bed. That kid doesn't understand, oh, the world is not actually a pillow. It's not a nice soft pillow.
The world is not a pillow. Yeah. I mean, I think about like the way when you describe all of that, I think about like how we sometimes nostalgically look back on our childhoods, a little bit, right? Like,
of course.
And like we were gone till the dinner bell rang, right? And like there was no predators, right? But I think the reality is we just like weren't looking, and we went like, I think progress has come to a point in our society that we're like, okay, we're like actually finally looking at more of the nuance and like what was always there, but we were just maybe blind to it or didn't 100%. Have the tools, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's jarring. It's jarring to sort of wake up and be like, oh, I kind of thought institutions were bedrocks of, these pillars of these things you could count on, these foundations of how things are and how they work. I mean, it's very religion. It's, for instance, it's very jarring in a Santa Claus kind of way. You have to be jolted out of this thing that you thought was maybe going to provide you something or be this savior, or like, oh, Santa Claus exists and it's all I got to do is be good and this guy's going to bring me presents. And religion, however people interpret it, I personally see it as the same as Santa Claus. Like, you've been told if you just do these things, you get to go to heaven. And there's a lot of stuff, and I'm like, but what if that is just, you're just told that because there's some sort of comfort throughout your life, instead of pulling the blanket down and being in the cold and going, oh, actually, I'm just here, and I have to accept that there's just an element that I'm just here and there isn't something else, which can also be beautiful, not necessarily depressing.
It's beautiful and it's brutal, right? And it's the responsibility that we have. And I think what is hard sometimes is and what you're describing so well is like, how do we as humans and know like generally the path that we need to progress upon and where we need to go as a society and culture, and like holding all of that and doing it in a way in ourselves and our hearts and our communities in a useful way that's not going to like, we can dip into the negative, we can dip into the overwhelm, but the reality is like you and I still want to like keep progressing. Like we want to move forward because we care about the next generation. We care about
Yes.
Elliot, like we want the future to be better, but how can we hold the truth of like this is fucking overwhelming and hard and vile and Trump's a monster, and all these things, and we can honor that but not let it destroy us in the process.
Yeah.
It's hard.
My somewhat outlook of trying to find that what you're describing there is wondering if there really is some, and this is based completely on the fact that we do not know what we are doing here or what we actually even are, and how, and our interpretation as humans, our
Yep.
interpretation of being alive, this experience. I am a person who is open to literally every idea that when you die, you just wake up from a dream and you're like, what even was that? Or
And
you're
I
in
think that's a
simulation.
beautiful thing.
Like,
I think
it
that's
could
a
be
beautiful outlook, is to like
100%.
be open to all, right? I'm
Exactly.
the same. I'm the same.
Exactly. And so there, because there could be a chance that the possibilities of what does happen when we die, nothing happens, but were we ever alive? What is even truly any of this? Because of that, I wonder, is there any possibility that if your main focus became health and taking care of yourself, that is the change you wish to see in the world? That is the quote of be the change you wish to see in the world. Is it possible that if you treat yourself and take care of yourself the way that you are meant to, that does have some profound effect on what you perceive to be the entire world? You truly, as an individual, are all encompassing. You are the world. And, you look for some ways to find some positivity, and it means, all right, well then, maybe I should eat less meat or no meat. Maybe I should not do any dairy. Maybe I should be more environmental. Maybe I should hydrate my body as much as I can. Maybe I should be doing yoga, meditation, acupuncture, physical cardiovascular activity. And there is something that makes me wonder, like, if you really commit and do that stuff, is there any chance the news starts to change? Is there any chance that's when they go, you know what? They say the Arctic is actually doing much better now. I know it's all a wild optimism, but I think we're at a point in our existence that might be all we have. Might be all we have.
You're depressing me, Rory. No, I love it. That perspective to me is like deeply collective. It's like understanding that like I hold the connection of my people and the people I care about and my community and the planet and all of it, and I have like responsibility to sort of touch and influence all of it, not as like some colonizing individualist conqueror, like using the planet to my will, but as a responsibility that like, and I say it all the time on this show, like truly it's not just something you etch into like a pillow, to go back to the pillow. It's, it's we go inward before we go outward, right? Like that's how it works. Like if we don't know what fills us up and what brings meaning to our lives and all of that stuff, like how are we going to do that for other people? How are we going to do that for our community, right? Like it just doesn't work unless we go inward.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of truth to that.
Yeah. So how are you going inward? Like how are you, like you said all these shoulds. You're like, I should fucking, do the yoga and I should drink and, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
How are you with that nowadays? How are you doing with that?
I go up and down. I go through phases where I'm doing really well and I'm really committed. And then I go through phases where the strange, it's not really irony, but the internal battle is really going, oh, well, these things that you want to maybe try and fix by fixing yourself are so overwhelmingly depressing that it causes you to go, I'm going to have a couple of drinks. You know what I mean? It makes you go, You know what? Everyone's having a cheeseburger, and man, I want to fucking eat a goddamn cheeseburger, and so
You get a little fatalistic, maybe.
you do, and then you go, well, then I'm just going to do these things, and then you feel unhealthy, you feel bad, you haven't slept well, you're not hydrating, you're having heart issues that are not genetic in any way. They're completely your fault for not being a healthier person. It is on you. You could fix this problem. And it goes up and down. Like I say, when there's times when I'm doing really well, I'm usually off booze. I'm consciously eating better. I'm sleeping better. I'm hydrating. One thing I'm learning is that I try to break it all into categories. So I'll look at any vices that I might have. Like we could just go with the ones I just even named. And if you just pick one to really try to fix, it really does bleed over into making the others easier to fix. For instance, if I'm like, you know what, I really don't ever get out and walk enough or jog enough. And if I just made the minimal effort to do that, well, now by nature, you are hydrating more because you absolutely have to. It's not even a choice. It's not you sitting, but I'm not thirsty, so I don't need water. It's you going, no, I'm definitely thirsty. So you're drinking water. And because you're drinking enough water and because you're getting that physical activity, you're now resting deeper at night. So you're waking up with more clarity. And that clarity is making it easier to make better choices in terms of not having sausage for breakfast or lunch or dinner, and go, you know what? A really big salad actually does hit the spot, even though my instinct is that it won't hit the spot the way I want a fucking thing that makes me want to take a nap. Ironically, does also not hit the spot, but does hit the spot. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And how does, like, when you are in that, like, I'm feeling better, I'm walking, I'm hydrating, like, how does that maybe impact your relationships, your like,
so much,
etc.? Yeah.
So much more. I mean, you're just more dialed in. You're more full. You're more complete. You're more available. You're more attentive. You also just have better energy. I think a lot of times it's energy.
For
sure.
Me,
yeah. If I'm like not getting a lot of sleep and I'm not eating well and I don't have a lot of energy, then when my kid wants to go play something, I might be like, I don't know, I just can't do it. But if I'm healthy and I'm in shape, then I'm like, yeah, all right, let's go do something crazy. Let's go run around. Let's go play soccer. Let's, paint. Let's do whatever we're going to do. It makes it easier to yes and, I think. As human beings in an unnatural way, we have so many stacks of things. The paperwork on our desk of life is massive. It's not just, you have this one chore you got to do and you do it, and that's that. Instead, it's not just what do you need to do personally to earn money, but be fulfilled and feel like you've been fulfilled and like contributing. But then also, as we've just talked about, the existential dread of all the news. So it's a giant stack of paperwork that's going against you and making those right decisions to get out and go jog, to drink some water, to sleep, and discover the benefits of having better relationships through health. I'm throwing a lot out there. You did not know that I felt so much
passionate about hydration.
I just want people drinking water.
I love it. No, I've been I relate. Like I when I'm moving, my energy, my clarity. I'm just like, my depression is like is better kept at bay when I'm moving, when I'm like sweating. It's just better. And sometimes I don't do it because of the overwhelm, because I feel like, what's the point? Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's when I dip into my depression. I get a little bit like fatalistic about it. That's not a fun place. And I don't want to be in that place. And I know that when I'm in that place, I'm harder to be around. I'm maybe like snappier with the dogs that I don't, I don't want to be snappy with the dogs. They're
right.
my, love and joy. So, it's like, I think to me, and what's deeply empathetic about it, about caring for ourselves is it does have an impact on others. It's like thinking about the impact we have on other people in our life. Right?
100%. Absolutely.
I noticed you recently talk a little bit about leaving social media and stuff, and I don't know why I did that with my hands, but like I feel like I'm with you, and I have felt for a while now this like I have this deep distaste for the mechanisms, well, capitalism in general, but just like the mechanism of marketing and promoting your thing and how are you dealing with that? Because like I know for me it's just like I hate it and I love the stuff I do, and I feel like the mechanisms that are like in front of me that I'm utilizing today in this moment are not effective or useful in how I want to build community and how I want to share ideas.
Yes, it falls into that category of vices for sure. When I got off Facebook or stopped interacting with Facebook, I was overwhelmed by how many messages I would get from friends and family, or people booking shows, or someone reaching out who I don't know personally, but I felt such a great responsibility to be responsive. And
sure,
and you remember, I mean, I don't remember when Facebook started. I feel like we're going into year 15 of Facebook, which seems bizarre, but when it started, there was sort of this like, well, I respond to all the emails. I respond to you didn't look at it as something you could actually be, but at least for me, I didn't look at it as something I could be blasé about. Like, I'm not going to get back to them. What do I care? Because also I knew them personally, and they can see when you're on Facebook. They can see that you've been on there. And I just got overwhelmed by it. And I said, I just have to wash my hands of this and get away from it. And I did. And about 2 weeks later, the drive to be a part of it was completely gone. And it felt great. And, then Twitter came along, and I really enjoyed certain aspects of Twitter and still do. But I also noticed it was really it was so negative for the most part. This arguing and people saying horrible things and getting into arguments, and myself included, getting into arguments that I was like, it's two people fighting who have none of us are going to concede because of what we think, but also our egos alone wouldn't allow us to admit that we might be wrong on Twitter, in the Twitterverse. Yeah. So I got off Twitter. But Instagram has been very difficult for me because it's so visual, because it's so there's so much flavor to it. But still comments, and still this need to participate, this need to be on a schedule, this need to promote stuff, which I still do. I have a friend, Gemma, who runs my Instagram accounts and Twitter accounts and like post stuff on there. My need to get away from it was not so much that I wanted to get away from promoting, but because if I have it on my phone, I can't stop scrolling. And I find my brain changing into needing the scrolling. Like, oh, look, here's a video of someone doing this, but suddenly it matters to me. And it shouldn't, and it shouldn't even be a part of my my brain. It shouldn't be a part of my thought process. And so I was like, I have to get away from this. It's causing me not to pay attention to my kid and my wife and my own self. I'm just focusing on other people's posts, and it's dangerous, honestly. But I'll slip up. I'll put it back on my phone to post something, and then I got to see who's DM me. Who's left a comment? What did they say? I hate the ego that comes out of it. Needing to see someone's compliment. I need it. I need to know, does someone like this thing?
Validation.
And I think I also dislike the promotional side of it, because I think it's a game I don't really want to participate in. And you constantly scroll and you see other comics and people participating in this game of promotion, and some are very good at it, but it's a game I don't want to play. And you're just constantly reminded that some people are very good at it and you're not playing it. And it does somewhat apply to your career and your craft. And you're not participating.
Less than, or you feel, I'm not doing it as good.
I think there's that. I think there's an inability to do it. Then, but I also know in my soul that I'm not attracted to it.
Yeah.
So it's just a weird sort of this dichotomy of going, oh, here's this thing that people are really good at. I know I'm not good at it, but I don't even necessarily want to be good at it because I don't want to do it. And I don't know that I would do it if I was good at it. I don't think I like this, what some art is. I like the mystery of art. I like not necessarily getting to know the artist. I like not getting told what the art is or what it's supposed to be. I like someone wanting to see my stand-up. I want to say, well, then come and sit in the room with me, because I'll even admit to you, my albums and any specials I've done, they pale in comparison to being in the room and actually experiencing the art. And I feel like it's I think it causes, at least in stand-up, I think it causes people to assume, well, we're up there to roast the audience, and the audience is supposed to heckle. Yeah. Because that's what's going to make a really good clip. And then people think these are the shows they go to. That's not even my thought. Someone pointed that out to me, and I was like, oh, I think that's true. I think it is causing people to think they're supposed to be disruptive at shows. That's a long answer. You didn't ask for 40 minutes.
It. No, I love it. I asked for more and you didn't give it to me. So now I'm
good.
pissed.
Okay. That actually makes me feel better.
Well, a couple of things. One is like, I feel sometimes like, oh, people are doing reels now, right? Like, I don't have any interest in doing reels.
Yeah.
But like a part of me feels like, if this is going to be like the thing that helps people like connect with the stuff that I want them to connect with, maybe I'll do it, but I don't want to do it. And like the feel of like having to like play the game to like get my art in front of people.
Yeah.
So that's one piece. And then the other piece that I especially appreciate is what I'm hearing you say is art, whatever you're creating, it should be messy. It should be messy, and weird, and maybe ill-defined, and surprising, and not, packaged up in these little boxes of like, joy and wonder and beauty. It's like, it's messy, just like empathy is. It's messy. It's weird. It's unexpected, right?
Yeah. You saying that actually is making me think of maybe a potentially, for me, great metaphor for how, and you may agree with this.
Okay.
Just by saying what you just said. To me, it is like you have made an art gallery, not necessarily paintings, but like an experience, and it costs $20 to go through it. Mm-hmm. And in order for people to know about this experience, you maybe got to get on social media to say, hey, these dates, these times, I've made this thing, and here's like a picture, a snippet of what it might be. And then you go, okay, so I understand I needed that outlet to make sure people knew about this thing. Mm-hmm. And then if people showed up and they were allowed to walk through it and video it and take pictures of it and post it and show everyone what it is, to me, it's now sort of spoiled. Like, I understand social media, the pros and cons being, I needed to promote this thing, but I don't want this social media to exist for people to then show all the people, oh, this is what it is once you go in there.
Yeah.
Oh, it's this. It's really cool. Oh, look at this. I got this photo in front of this crazy thing. And you go, oh, well, now what you did was you basically said Bruce Willis is dead the whole movie.
Yeah.
And you just go, yeah, but that's social media. I'm posting it. And I want to go, social media is great to say, hey, Bruce Willis is in a movie. It's not great to say, hey, Bruce Willis has been dead the whole movie.
He's talking about Die Hard, everyone. Die Hard, the movie.
Die Hard, Die Hard 2.
That's right, too.
But so to me, it's like the pros and cons. We got to let people know about the art gallery. But I don't want people to post the art gallery on their social media. I'd rather them post a picture of the picture I posted to say, I went to this and it was really cool. And you should go to it too. But instead, it's like, I got to show people I did this experience and show this picture. And I think I also hate that it's
like performative.
There's so much narcissism and ego. And I'm not saying that I am any better than this. I have to get away
you are
from it
actually
because of it.
You know precisely what you're doing.
I'm better than people. I am above ego, and that is what I need people to know. But I think that is what I see in others, in those apps, especially Instagram, and I see it in myself.
Yeah,
in
me
those
too.
things. When I say, "Hey, I want to read these comments," like I know exactly why I want to
Yeah.
read the comments. Oh my God, this person started following me. Oh my God, and I just hate that I'm. Now I'm friends with it. No, you're not. You're not. You're not. You're not friends with that person.
Yeah. It's
Everybody,
dangerous.
it's dangerous. It's dangerous, and I think it causes you to misperceive your relationships. I think it causes you to misperceive your experiences, and I hate that to me it creates a shallowness in the
That's
world
the word. Yeah.
of art. But like I said, if you're an artist, you might go, look, I've put paintings up on Instagram, and that caused me to sell paintings and more paintings. So that's what I mean when I say there's a pro and con to it. It's how you use it. But I know if I go to use it for good, all I got to do is be on there for 5 minutes, and now I'm going to start using it for bad.
Yeah.
Like an alcoholic saying they can have one drink kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's like being in the system and wanting to burn it down at the same time, which is hard. It's like a hard, like you're pulled every which way, especially if you are someone who does care about the planet and who does care about art and its transformative qualities, right? And who does care deeply about comedy and empathy or whatever, right? Like,
yeah,
it's hard.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of connections you make. There's a lot of things I've learned through Instagram.
Sure.
There's a lot of things I've seen and shared that I would not have experienced. So, yeah, that's that one's a tough one for me specifically, and then also just the fact that it's Facebook Meta owned by Zuckerberg. You're just like, this motherfucker.
Meta, yeah,
he's got me. He's got my soul, and he knows it.
He's got us all. Yeah. So you mentioned painting, and I have noticed. Jordan has actually texted me she's been painting as well, which is so cool. How is that process in the context of like what we're talking about? How has that been for you? Painting.
It's been the best.
Yeah.
It has been the best therapy I've ever had. It's been wildly therapeutic in ways that I did not step into it for therapeutic reasons. But then discovered just through the act of doing it that there's so much discovery to be made. I didn't know that I had personal feelings towards colors the way that I do now, because I never painted and I never needed to blend. I never needed to, does this go with this? I never needed to create, but I think we as humans, we're drawn to do that. I think we're all painters. We just don't, many of us, myself included up until a little bit ago, also thought I wasn't one because I couldn't do what painters do. But those people they're just doing their thing. We're all capable of grabbing colors and putting it on a canvas or a paper or whatever, on wood, and making something for ourselves. I think we all think we're not painters because we think we're supposed to be painting for a museum, for a gallery, for a show, for a store, for a gift.
Yeah.
But in reality, if you just do it for yourself, then there is no bad painting. There's just unfinished paintings, and you can do one painting your whole life, and just paint over it and do it again. So that just even what I'm describing there has been therapeutic, because I never looked at it that way. I never thought, I can just put colors on something, and then when I'm done, step back and put white acrylic paint on top of it and do it all over again with something else, and just have it as a place to play, as opposed to, but you have a canvas, you need to make it perfect and then give it to someone or hang it up. All paintings aren't meant to be hung up. Some are meant to sit on an easel in your garage that you just keep messing with whenever you need to step outside and detach from your anxieties.
Yeah, there's something really beautiful about, and I think it's going against the what social media can be, the toxicity of social media is like you create the thing and it doesn't need to be for anyone but the process
Yeah.
of like what doing that thing gave you, right? Like,
Right.
and that's really, that can be really special. I love that.
It's meditative. It's a conversation with yourself. You know, I would go out to the garage, put on some music, I'd pour a drink and a glass of wine, something, and just sometimes I'd get high, but I'd just be there and I just start painting. And one night I put on an album. I just started painting and I got to that place of not thinking about the painting.
Mm.
And when you're not thinking about the painting, you're finally free of the doubt that you're not making the right choices.
Oh, wow.
Which is so much of what painting is this fear that you're not making the right choice for the painting. And then you go, oh my God, this is my life. You're trying to create the perfect painting for your life. You're trying to have the perfect home with the perfect stuff. It's all very Fight Club. It's all, I need all these little perfections. And I understood that in 1999 at 19, I was like, oh, I agree. I also want the cool table and the nice thing and there's so much of that. And then when you finally can release yourself, you can start a painting faster.
There's so much external of like, this is the right thing to do. I am painting it to be this thing. And there's this idea of what a painting should be because, you mentioned because we've seen them in art galleries or whatever, and letting go of that is powerful.
There's decisions. It's hard to start a painting. You almost want to walk up to someone and just grab some blue paint and throw it onto the canvas. And they'll be like, but that's such an extreme decision. And you want to just be like, yes, but that's not the painting. This is just a decision. And then you build off this decision. You build off this choice. You keep moving. You make choices. You just keep going. If you go, I don't really like it, great. You know that you don't like it. You learn that you don't like this thing. So then you might be able to learn how to avoid doing that again when you do a painting, because every time I blend this color with this color, I hate how it looks. Well, then you wouldn't keep doing that all the time. It's no different than your life. You're not going to, I don't like that restaurant. Well, they're not going to keep going to that restaurant or doing that activity that you don't enjoy. And painting is there is something that happens in painting where you're suddenly not making the decisions and you're not there. You're able to kind of do it while not being there. And it's just pure bliss. And you'll just step back and you'll go, there it is. And I don't really even remember how I made that. All the paintings that I have that I really like, I don't fully remember making the decisions that I now really like having made.
That's
but
really
I don't
cool.
really remember making them,
Yeah. You talk about it in a way that has a ton of applicability to life and the decisions we make. Like, have you been able to apply some of the therapies that you sort of gained in painting to your life?
I think it's perspective. I think in seeing like my life in that way and trying to see your life as a canvas where you can add colors and give yourself the freedom to make mistakes and get it wrong, knowing that more often than not, wrong is not permanent. I think there are a lot of decisions we have to make in our life that also they all carry different amounts of weight. But for some reason, I am the type of person that thinks all of these decisions carry the same level of permanence. And I mean that in terms of where should I get lunch today? I almost can't decide because I think, well, it's got to be great. Almost as though this will be the last lunch.
Perfect choices every day.
And I used to do that on the road for stand-up. I would have to go to the perfect coffee shop. I need to know, like for instance, I'll be in Tulsa this Friday. And I will think about dinner and where should I get dinner? But I'm so much better now at going, all right, well, where's a good place? As opposed to, well, I'm here for one night. What is the best restaurant?
I have to have the Tulsa experience.
Exactly. And I think you start to realize that whatever you think that Tulsa experience is going to come from someone who tells you where to go. And that's their Tulsa experience. It doesn't mean that you would even like the same thing. And so there is an element of saying, well, just start, just make a decision. You're looking at a blank canvas, pour red paint all over the canvas. Now that's a decision has been made. You can only go off of that. So if you make one more decision, you can only now once you've made 5 decisions, you're looking at something. A map can start to sort of present itself as to what this piece is. And I think that's the same with life. It's like, well, why don't you simplify everything? Why don't you just get out of bed? You want to take a shower? Want to not shower? What's today? What's this morning going to be? A shower or not shower day? What are we doing?
There's something vulnerable about it to me. The vulnerability of letting go of the artifice of external validation and external influence, and just like allow you to be present with your decisions and own what those decisions mean, and own the variability and the waywardness of those decisions. It's very vulnerable. Yeah.
There's in talking specifically about painting, there's also something of I take great pride in my my personal title, just based on occupation, being artist. I don't necessarily like to just say stand-up comic or actor. I really like the word artist. I like the word art. I like I feel something about that word art heavily. And I've always thought painters specifically just seem like the coolest people. And I mean, that's even from a still photograph where I can't see that this person is battling immense demons. But they just seem to be this, I don't care. Look at my clothes. Yes, look at, even looking at something like Andy Warhol. One thing I really love was the movie Halston, or the show Halston with Ewan McGregor recently watched. I love seeing an artist who is basically, fuck you, I'm an artist, I'm making a thing. Now that can get away from people, but I've always been very attracted to
it's romantic
people that live that way, because I personally want to break free of what people think. I want to break free of wearing the clothes, because I am thinking about what people will be thinking of me. Like that's been something I've battled with for a very long time. And I will say, I think painting has helped me in terms of being an artist as a stand-up and letting go of some of these things. It really has made me, even if I have not sold a single painting and people undeniably say, Rory, whatever you think, your paintings are very bad. I still would have so much joy in knowing that, well, here I am with paint all over my pants and I'm making paint. It would change my perspective, and has changed my perspective of how I see myself. I now see myself as a more confident person, willing to tell someone else, I'm not concerned with your criticism. I don't care if you don't think my stand-up is funny. I don't care if you don't like this joke. I don't care if you connect with this moment. I don't care if I suddenly went on a political rant at my show and maybe it's not funny and I'm actually saying something vulnerable and that's maybe not what you do at a stand-up show. I'm now away from those moments, because now I see those as splashes of art as well. Well, I had to put this color in here, and maybe this color isn't bright and shiny and fun and bubbly. Maybe this color is a deep dark red and it makes you think something else. I know it's changed my perspective of all around art that I create.
It's really beautiful. It really is like a more sort of real and raw look at humanity, like what we can be as humans. And I appreciate that. And I definitely share the sentiment and the sort of the value of like the romantic version of the artist. Like I still aspire to that. And there's, as you said, there's like downfalls to that. But like I remember, reading Henry Miller. Did you ever read Henry Miller?
A little bit, yeah.
So like he has this book, Quiet Days in Clichy, which or Cliche or whatever. And it's just like he's a bit of a cad, and he's just making his art. He's like dirt poor. He's like eating, like the way he describes like the scene is like he's eating these sandwiches with cockroaches off the ground, and he's like making his art. And it's like, obviously I don't want to get to that point, like eating cockroaches off the ground.
No, I don't want you to do that either.
I don't. Thank you. Thank you. It's not good.
I don't want that for you.
I don't. Thank you. I appreciate that. But like, there's something also really beautiful about it.
Yeah.
It's stripped down. It's not. It doesn't have the artifice of social media. It doesn't have the artifice of external validation. It does. It's like, I am here, and this brings me joy, and this process gives me value, and I see the impact that it has on my life and the people I care about and love. And there's no one can take that away.
Right. Yeah. I think that's a good point too. It's got such a level of personal to it that you almost can't be touched.
Yeah.
In terms of I don't know, review or criticism. You almost are like, well, it's not necessarily for you, especially when there's the therapeutic benefit of being an artist.
Yeah.
Kind of makes someone go, I didn't like your painting. You're like, well, I feel better, so I don't need you to like it because it made me feel great.
Yeah, for sure. I've heard you mention before mushrooms, taking mushrooms. I'm a fan. So for me, like the past few years have been sort of like partaking and dabbling, and as truly like it started as like I struggle with major depressive disorder and wanted to see if mushrooms would help, and they undoubtedly have.
Yeah.
What have your experience been with mushrooms?
I feel like a little all over the map from when I started. I started in 2007, I think was the first time I ever tried them. I went through a phase where I was on the road, and I thought, anytime it comes up to do them, I'm just going to do them, which I look back and I don't think that's smart. But what I do appreciate, the appreciation that I've learned over time is having an immense respect for the mushrooms as you go into deciding to do them or have a trip, the preparation the day before, fasting, or at least just eating healthy kind of thing. I have learned over time that does make it a better experience. And early on, it was a few times doing it, and it was a giggle fest.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, and you just feel a great connection with your friends that you're with, especially if you know them and it's low numbers.
Yeah.
In terms of people, it really can be an intense connection. But I also have found the inward, I've really cherished that and enjoyed that more, almost, where I want to be with people, but I almost want to eat the mushrooms, and I almost have a desire for silence. And I want to be around the trees. I want it quiet. I want to just hear nature. I couldn't be more turned off by music or a television. I've never really experienced like live music. Like if I was on mushrooms at like a drum circle or a guitar, any sort of live performance, I might feel different, but turned off by, a speaker, streaming music.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. It makes me immediately go inward and want to connect with whatever, that big question mark is of who is this person I'm talking to right now and connecting with and doing life math, with breaking it all down. And I've had similar effects. I think a really good mushroom trip, I've always come off of it feeling really good and more optimistic and feeling like I did just talk to a higher something that does have answers. And I think that is ultimately what cemented in me that I do believe that there is something greater. But I don't believe it has anything to do with religion.
Right.
Yeah. I think all the things that are preached about that you would agree with, I think are already within us. And if there is a sense of God, I have a strong belief that it is already us. It is, we are already that thing. And in terms of feeling better about life, it makes me, in terms of what you said, it also makes me just go, well, maybe this isn't necessarily a test or not a test, being in this world of life, but there's a chance that maybe you go through a million levels of life and your whole point is to improve.
Yeah.
And I sometimes tell
like that
people, you
idea.
see someone that is at a stage, and also this can be interpreted as egotistical if you feel like you're doing better. But I always tell someone, I was like, you look at someone, I hate referencing Trump so much, but it's such a great example. But I look at someone like Trump and I go, that could be a level 1 person. This might be their first time through the system. You might be on 1,000. So if you're like, man, how does this guy not have compassion for other people? It's like, he hasn't done it 1,000 times yet. He hasn't reached.
That's an empathetic lens
to go, yo, I should care about other people. I see the benefit of it. And then I think I hate thinking that there's some reward, but I do note that I do feel better with love than I do with hate. And I think even a hateful person would agree if they felt it, if they felt the right kind of love and support. But you have to want it. You have to be aiming for it. And all that to say, another long answer, is stuff I got from meditating on mushrooms. It helped my, I would say I haven't experienced massive extreme depression in many ways, but I think we have all experienced levels of depression.
Yeah.
And I would say that outlook helped me with mine.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. I love to hear that. Yeah. No, I'm always just curious I don't have too many people in my life who do mushrooms. There's just a few buddies, and the past few years have been they've mushrooms themselves have helped with the overwhelm part.
Yeah.
Like each experience is like a reminder that certainly an overwhelming feeling of connection with the earth and the planet.
Yeah.
An overwhelming feeling of being humbled by all of it.
Yeah.
And knowing that I play a part as well in it. And that I'm not alone in it too, right? As part of that feeling. And that's been really powerful and meaningful. And yeah, I prefer to do it out in nature. Often on backpacking trips, out in the woods with no one around, that's the best setting in my mind. But yeah, I love mushrooms. We'll continue to play with mushrooms. I feel like it's wisdom, it's therapy, it's you have to respect it,
Have you had bad trips?
No. And I think it was, I don't know, maybe Terrence McKenna who said there's no such thing as a bad trip. It's sure. it's just that you've had maybe a difficult one.
Yeah.
No, I haven't. They've all been yes. So the first, last year I did one on my birthday for the Day of Known. And it was a couple months after we lost our dog, Scooby. And it was just a great deal of grieving and crying and thinking about Scooby. And it was really therapeutic. I've grappled while on mushrooms with hard things. They've all been very meaningful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good. It's good stuff.
I think so. I think it's a great medicine. It opens a different door that's been there the whole time that you just needed the assist to get it open. And then when you do open it, it's perspective changing. And it's permanent.
Is.
It's permanent in many ways because you are making discoveries that are not. It's not like pot where you're going to laugh and maybe you're going to have these little discoveries of these perspective shifts, but they're not so profound that you can fully remember what they are. It's more. This is probably a horrible analogy, but pot is probably like taking a shot, and mushrooms is like sipping a nice scotch over a long period of time.
There you go. I like it. I like it.
Tasting every single sip, and then when
Yeah.
you go, have you ever had good scotch? You go, oh, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember this one time I was sipping scotch. Have you ever done good shots? You're like, I've done 100 shots. I don't remember any of them. But they're shots. Yeah.
It's an experience, and I know for me it's helped. Like you mentioned Trump, right? It's easy to put labels on people. It's easy to like put people in boxes and just call Trump a monster, which he is, and he's a human, right? He's a human on level 1, perhaps, right? Perhaps. And I think what mushrooms has helped with me, and in addition to my own work or whatever, is a little bit of like disintegrating and dissolving of those boxes and understanding. It's helped with my empathy, truly. Like it's helped me like look at someone like Trump and say like, maybe he's on level 1. Maybe that's sort of like the imagination piece that can help me like gain some empathy for this other human. Right.
Well, yeah. And you also look at it and you go, well, what is he the product of?
That's a big piece of empathy too. Where did he come from? The experience. Yeah.
And it's tough. It's tough to look at monsters that way.
Yes.
Because I say it all the time to some people, and I go, if you need a really good conundrum in your mind, they say that so many pedophiles were also victims of sexual abuse as children. And that alone makes you go, all right, well, this kid that your heart is broken for right now, for what they've experienced, could also be the person who just did it. Those could be the same person. And it puts your heart in a fucking knot, and it puts your brain in a knot where you're like, you right and wrong, and how the brain is developed over time, and the influence and the atmosphere. It's no different than languages. It's I grew up and I speak Spanish because I was around Spanish all the time. Well, I speak English. I was around English all the time. Well, that is what is implanted in your brain, and that is never going to shift or change. And when people grow up in non-supportive, abusive situations with a ton of money or no money, it's difficult because not everyone is given, and this is a great thing about your podcast, not everyone is given the resources to recognize the work they may have to do to shift their perspective, to change a negative. They might not know that negative is there. And so I think about, in terms of empathy, I think about that all the time. I think about my own relationship with my dad, anything that I didn't agree with that we had. And then stepping back now and going, all right, well, what place was he in where he thought this was the way to handle this, or that was the thing to say, or that was the thing to do? And it changes you. It changes you, especially when you hit those ages where you're now the age of the parent doing the thing. My dad lost my mother at a very young age. He was 25 and he had two kids, and he became someone who drank a lot. And I know him most of my life. He was someone who drank, and I was like, how can you not just stop? How can you just stop doing it? And now at 42, where I don't necessarily have, obviously I share the same tragedy in a different way, but at 42, I'm almost like, oh, I wonder if he just drank because it's kind of, as you get older, it's kind of boring. Like things are, when someone says, hey, I'm going to make a cocktail at 5:00, you don't have to be an alcoholic to get excited.
Easy to say yes.
Yeah, you go, oh yeah, cocktail will be fun, because what comes with that cocktail is probably us sitting around gabbing away, having a good time, connecting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's there's a similar element in saying, let's sit around and do mushrooms together and connect. There's an excitement to that connection. I'm not at all saying they're the same experiences. You're not going to walk away with the same profound revelations, but I kind of get it now, where I go, oh, well, now if I'm in his shoes, I don't know if I stop having a drink either. Maybe I get better at having a certain number of drinks, but I can certainly understand going, yeah, I'm just getting home from work, and the thing that I want to do right now is have a drink in my hand to take the edge off.
Yeah.
And I get it. I
Yeah.
get it.
It's
Not
really
that you should do it.
beautiful.
Not that you should do it. It's just that I get why you can't just not do it.
There's no what is easy is to live a life that is binary, to live a life in these sort of right and wrong ways,
Yes.
right? Where there's no nuance, right?
Yeah.
And the no nuance place is the place where like, oh, dad, like why doesn't he just not drink, right? I remember like early, like I battled anorexia in my late teens and 20s, and someone at one point said to me, like, just go eat a sandwich.
Exactly.
Or
yeah.
just not be depressed, right? It's
Right.
the same.
Smile.
It's
Just smile.
Just smile.
Right.
And point your feet toward happiness.
Yeah.
It's not like that is removing all of the beautiful nuance and curiosity that gets you, Rory, to a place where you can have empathy for your dad who experienced a fucking trauma.
Right.
As you did.
Right.
But like experience at 25 and being left with 2 kids, like, wow, that's so hard. No wonder
Yeah.
he drank, right?
Right.
I might too, right?
Yeah.
It's not bad or good. It's just like the reality of being human.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the age, there was Tony Bennett was in the Amy Winehouse documentary since they were so close.
Mm-hmm.
And she really looked up to him. And in Tony Bennett's like talking head, he was like, the longer you live, the more life teaches you how to live it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's such an interesting way to say like the wisdom that comes with age. Like I see it. I see a little bit of what that means in terms of you start looking at things as they are instead of the naive brain that, we all have, which goes back to our full circle at the beginning of like protecting kids from the truth or giving them
Yeah.
the truth,
It's not so easy. It's not so black and white.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard and it's messy and it's life. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't want to keep you much longer, even though I could talk about pen pals forever. I could talk about, playing soccer forever.
Yeah. Yeah.
But let's get to how we wrap up the show always, talking about our empathy heroes.
Yeah.
So this could be someone from your life who's empathetic, a character from a story, a movie, etc. I will go first and name my empathy hero this week. My empathy hero is actually a podcast. It's called Hustle Rule, and it's created by my friend Gwendolyn Oxenham and narrated by Hannah Waddingham from Ted Lasso. It's like 7 episodes. It's like the untold stories of women's soccer. It's fascinating. It's like deeply moving and empathetic. And a look at stuff you didn't hear, like women having to like take off, like basically being punished for having kids, and then like then losing all their sponsors, and then having to come back to sports. It talks about like Ali Long and how she like eventually found her way onto the women's national team, and it's fascinating. If you're a soccer fan, if you're a fan of women doing amazing things, it's really, really a moving and deeply empathetic podcast. And it's just 7 episodes. It's called Hustle Rule, and you can listen to it wherever you listen to your pods. How about you, Rory?
Nice. Someone who's been a major important piece of teaching empathy in my life is my late friend, Rick Wege. I met him my freshman year in college. It was, I think the spring of 2000. Yeah. Spring into January of 2000. We started rooming together. We were both on the soccer team, and great soccer player, very good looking young man. No one would disagree with that. He was a very good looking young man, but always so very humble and never never led with I am attractive and I know it. Never led with his ego. Never.
Yeah.
Always thought about others. He passed away in December of 2018, and I've even since, through his family and his sisters and brother and family members telling me about him, and when he was a kid, you start to hear more stories about when they were a kid once they've passed, and how he was with animals and how he loved animals so much, and his relationship with his dog. But he was the kind of person that I was such a short fuse with anything. And he was always the like, you don't know what that person's going through type person. And I fought that for so long. I fought that it doesn't matter because I know what I'm going through. And I mean, as simple as like a traffic jam. Yeah. Being upset about a traffic jam, and him being the kind of person that goes, yeah, but at the front of this traffic jam, you have no idea if someone's life has just completely become shattered and it's just changed other people's lives. And that's enough perspective to where you then become the person that decides, I don't care about that, or I do care about it. Yeah. And I couldn't tell you if those are decisions we make, or if it's a little bit built into us, how that makes us feel, because we're able to put ourselves in that position and become sad immediately and start to cry for people you don't know. And you still don't even know if there's actually an accident. Could be construction. Yeah. You don't even know. You don't even know what's up there. But he's that kind of person that when you have that perspective and someone teaches you that perspective, I very much have to learn it constantly. It changes your heart rate. It changes your calm. It keeps you more calm. Yeah. Keeps you more human. And, I'm still not great at it, but I'm even somewhat on that path of like, calm down, take a deep breath, because of, someone like him, meeting him in college and seeing his leading by example of being that kind of person, just so naturally from a young age. It almost felt very old soul kind of guy, but that would be mine for sure.
Rick. Yeah. We all need a Rick. Yeah. And it is like such a, first of all, I'm so sorry you lost your buddy. And second of all, I think what is deeply moving about that on many levels is how we can be for others, right? Like the impact we have on each other. And sometimes we're not even aware of that impact, right? And this idea that, like, I know that I've been more openly, like, I feel like I still struggle with the sort of like, oh, I don't deserve love, all that stuff, right? But I know that's not true, and I want to tell people that they mean something to me while I'm here, right? I want to tell people that I care about them, that I love them, that they said something that had an impact on me, whatever it may be, right? And like, there's something beautiful about that, in your relationship with Rick, right? Obviously, he passed, and you're living on with this core nugget of how he lived in your heart, which is beautiful. Like, that's what we can be for each other. Right. Yeah. It's awesome. Super cool. Yeah. Well, Rory Borealis, where can the listeners, I guess you're not doing social media, but like they can catch you on Physical, like where else? Right.
They can catch me on Physical. Season 1 and 2 are on Apple TV Plus. I have a podcast myself called Pen Pals with Daniel Van Kirk and Rory Scovel. And yeah, my Instagram and Twitter are still there. It's just run by someone else, so I don't have to dive into the madness of it of these apps. And those are at Rory Scovel. But I will say they've mostly become promoting tour dates or premieres or guest appearances on stuff like this. So yeah, there's definitely posts to be had there if you're into those apps, and or my website, roryscovel.com, where I'm starting to actually put my tour dates.
I noticed that. So, yeah. I checked it out before this, and I was like, you've been talking about this new website for years.
I know. I think that's true. The whole pandemic.
I love it. You're making progress.
Yeah.
Look at you being
getting
human.
there. Getting there.
I love it. Well, Rory, this was a delight. I really appreciate you for being here.
Dude, thank you. I appreciate it so much. This is great.
Yeah, you're welcome. And to you listeners, as I always say, I'm here, you're here, we're here together on this wayward, overwhelming, awe-inspiring, pale blue dot. We have each other. It's Yumi Empathy.